project is a small lidded vessel. Now this is the one, this is my test piece that I made today. It's unfortunately I can't really, there you go. This is walnut with a maple finial on the top, and it's an inset lid, and you can just, you know, it just drops in. But the neat thing about it is if you keep pulling, you get stuck. This didn't happen before. Oh god, there we go. And there's a whole pile of toothpicks inside it.
If you keep pulling, does it shoot them out like projectiles?
Well, if you pull it all the way, yes, you'll be playing pick-a-stick. There's nothing to stop the piston coming out without doing a lot of messing around. So basically this thing's about 2 3/4 inches in diameter, and it's 4.5 inches high. It's a little bit higher than the original one I copied. If at the end of this you would like to watch the video that I watched to learn how to do it, I will forward the link to everybody. But a friend of mine uses toothpicks after every meal, so this is his gift. So basically you start off, find yourself a nice piece of wood. I've got the remains of that cylinder that I made in the last demo, and which I made the bell, so we know how to make a cylinder, don't we? So just make yourself a cylinder. If I can remount this back on the drive center. So with the original piece, this one, there was a split in one end of the wood, and because you know you're going to taper it, I wanted that at the bottom. So that tells you if you want to keep a piece, you know, a piece of grain because it's particularly nice, or there's a fault lower down in the wood, choose which end is going to be your top, and then put the tenon on the other end. Right? So this thing requires a 1 3/4 inch tenon. So there we go, go to that. I usually cut my tenons using a beading parting tool. I find it easier. And it's relatively straightforward. Okay, so we want ramming speed. Okay. Alright, we now know it's parallel to centre. So, and let's see if I can do what the guy in the video did, one-handed. Well, that wasn't too difficult. Right. 1 3/4 inch tenon. Done. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Come here, you. Okay, so we know it's centered again as well. Right, so we now have a cylinder mounted on a tenon. This has a center pop in the top, which doesn't really matter because we're going to drill an hole in it. Now, this particular piece is, well, we're just minor. It's a bit too big. It's got to come down. So I need to take another quarter off of that. Like there. Still no. That's it. Seeing as it was bouncing, I'll put the live centre back for stability. I know that's naughty, we're not meant to do that. Neither are we meant to put the tool into the chuck. All of this will have to be recut during the process, so getting a perfect finish at this point does not concern you. So we now need to dome the top. That's a pleasing curve. I like that. So, no, that's not quite so, because you get a 3/8 hole in there, and the flat on the end is a little too large. I have to make another cut. Very nice. Now we have to make the lid, so we need 1 3/4. The lid is going to be 1 3/4 inches in diameter. So set that up. Swing this back here. A little bit higher. Now, the lid has to be approximately 1/4 inch thick. So this is where it gets fun, because you've got to figure out how to leave enough meat at the edge. So we want to go in, we don't want to go in all the way there. We want to go in, start like, this is 3/8 wide, so I'm taking 3/16 off. I can always take more off, but you can't put any back on again. I'm going to master this trick. It's the last thing I do. We might be here all night before we get this done. That's it. Right, so that's 1 3/4. Now, as you can see, even though I started quite a way down, I only need a 1/4 inch thick lid. So I've cut a lot more than I should have. Silly me. So now, we need to drill a very shallow 3/8 hole in the lid, which will be the tenon for the finial. So 1 3/8 drill. So you only need to go in like 1/4 inch. So let's put this at a nice convenient place on the scale. There we go, 1/4 inch. Take it down to 500. So, stop squealing. That will be the tenon for the finial. We now have to put a hole through to put the little dowel in that connects everything together. So as long as we go in deep enough that the parting tool goes through that, we're all right. And it doesn't matter how far we go, because we're going to drill the middle out anyway. I think I'll put the speed up a bit, because it's only a little drill. Right. So, because this is going to be disconnected from the work, now is a good time to finish it. Especially on the sides, because you won't be able to do those anymore. So there's There's the side nicely sanded off. Now then, you part the lid off with the thinnest parting tool that you own. I mean, with this amount of waste that I've just created, I could use the big bugger. But, oh, back up to ramming speed. So, that's thick enough for the lid. And as you know, you do it in steps. Now, we know there's a little hole in the middle, so it's going to come off when I get down to 1/4 of an inch. Still can't catch them. So there's your lid. Now you can sand this off on a flat surface with a piece of sandpaper to get the bottom nice. Now let me refer to my instructions. Right. Ah, yes. Got that. Yep. Now then, when you're parting this off, and I'm going to use the part, well, I'll use the, leave a tiny, tiny little bit of this tenon to show you exactly what size your lid is. That gives you where you're hollowing to and from. So you leave a little bit standing up. Now then, so we now know this tiny little lip is the size, exactly the size of the lid. So what we want to do is, now it's much easier to do the drilling next, Nigel. Okay, so we need 1 1/4 inch diameter hole down this thing that the little piston runs in. So we take 1 1/4 inch, forced it a bit, go down to 500. Never ever drill too fast. Don't drill at cutting speed. Oh, shut up. God, I hate that noise. Now, this drill's just a tad too short, so I have to stick it out just a little bit further. Right, so going back to our lovely little lip, we now hollow in, just back up to ramming speed, sorry. Now then. If I've done this right, see, I didn't. What went wrong there? I know, I sanded it, it got smaller. That's my excuse. I need that hole. Now you don't want it too tight, but the idea of leaving a big gap around the outside. Alright, that fits nicely in the lower hole. So, you take that a little bit deeper. The edge. That's wonderful. Now comes the fun bit. This is the bit I thought was really quite interesting. You put that. See, that's a little bit of slack, but not horribly so. Would help if that wasn't in the way. So, just put a little bit of pressure on that so it spins with it. And now, we recut the top curve. Looks an awful big gap to me, but so now that is, you know, a perfectly lined up surface because they've been cut together. Except not quite right. Not quite. Now there, good. So at this point you could sand both surfaces. I don't want to turn the blower on because it's so noisy. Alright, top goes to one side. So we know this is hollowed to the correct depth. We hope. So that depth is maybe about 3 1/4 overall. So I'm going to go to, well, that's what, 1/4 inch there. So you take a quarter off that, 3 1/8. So if I go to about 3 1/8 is the bottom of the hole. So 3 1/2. By gum. Not much left, is it? All that messing around at the beginning. So what we now have to do okay, here's the exterior. Now, you cut down to your base size, and the base size is going to be an inch. I thought mine was 1 3/4 inches. Yeah, mine was. So, these are already set. That pair of calipers are already set. That's why I like using, you know, the same dimension. It's useless. Might as well take some of this off. That's near enough to the black bit. Yeah, so close I'm not even going to bother. Now we profile. You can do it with spindle gouges, you can do it with whatever you want. Get that sharp edge out of the way. What the guy did, which I find quite fun, as soon as you've taken off a lot of meat, and remember to swing while you're doing it, cut a curve. Now he made a tape, you know, all the way tapered all the way to the bottom. I personally, my personal like is I like my bases widened out a bit. I think it's good visually, and it's a lot more practical because the thing don't fall over as much. You think, is that pleasing to the eye, lads? Oh, they're all muted, aren't they?
Aren't you kind of going uphill at the end there?
Yeah, I was. But it's really, really difficult coming in from this end. That's why it chipped out. And this is one thing I cannot do left-handed. I'm not good enough. Maybe if I tried it more I'd be good enough, but I don't.
Practice makes perfect.
Yep. If you, like in skiing, you know, if you're not falling over, you're not trying hard enough. If you don't make a mistake, you're not trying hard enough. You annoying. Alright. Cheat. Now, the quick way to get rid of this is to make an awful lot of noise. Now's a good time to finish it because it's nicely mounted. So this is Yorkshire grit. Okay, and you let that harden up just a bit, and then as it says in the instructions, you keep rubbing it until nothing else comes off on the clean towel. If you want it to go, so that's a lovely smooth semi gloss, not high gloss. You want to go higher gloss, use wax or Hampshire sheen on it. They're very nice finishes. Alright, so
if you want to seal it first and then apply the Yorkshire grit, you would get a high gloss.
Yeah, if we had used the patented CA glue, yes, rubbing finish, as invented and devised by our good friend. All right, so that's basically the body done. So now, with the aid of a tool rest, we will part this off. Now, as he says, all you have to do is put your finger in it. So there is your body.
Did you make the base a little concave there, or?
Well, I tried, but I got a clever way of remounting it. I don't know if it's going to work on this one. Let's see. Minute.
Just a suggestion, Nigel.
Yeah.
Next time when you do something similar, make your slot larger, and then you tilt your parting tool towards the center.
That's what I was trying. I was trying to do, but unfortunately,
you're too close to the chuck, right?
No, I have plenty of room. This thing is so flexible. It bends. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Now, it's 1 3/4 inches, isn't it? Yeah. That's ever so close to being no, it bloody isn't. It's too small. Well, Bang goes, oh no, we can take it down to the next sized hole. Never say never. This time will be a little bit more circumspect. Alright, so we're going to take quite a bit off each side. Very close here. Ooh. Paper towel doesn't cut well. Are you little? Now, of course, I've just chipped the edge. Oh. All right. I am most annoyed. All right. I didn't have any of this trouble earlier on today.
Of course not, because it only happens when you do demos.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to the club. I mean...
Okay. So we just got the little tit to take off and sand that down with a hand machine. Now we need a piece to make the finial and what I call the piston, the thing that slides up and down inside the there's not even enough left for a glue chuck. So that's not correct. This piece of wood obviously isn't 100% square. However, it's soon going to be 100% round. Whoa, Nigel, whoa. Don't tell me you've gone too far. Oh! I am so lucky, it's unbelievable. You're just marginally bigger than I need it. Alright, now I made my finial 7/8 of an inch in diameter because I thought that sounded like a nice number. Although Ken says is a very nice number as well. So where is it? Here it is. 7/8 coming up. Ah, those are the sharp ones. Okay, so how long's the finial going to be? All right. So, finial starting about there. Really a bit high on the rest. Kind of cool. I got a finial with a convex hole in the end of it. Sorry, concave hole.
And the whole hole's concave?
Thinking about it, you're probably right about that, Brent. Sometimes one should engage one's brain before opening one's mouth. Although I find that hard to do. Now, so there's the top of the finial, and we need to have a 3/8 inch tenon on the bottom of it to stick into the lid, right? So those are the sharp ones. That's not bad. Now, the top is not flat. It is slightly convex. So what I'm going to try and do is cut this out. And hopefully, if I don't make another mistake, that edge will sit directly down. This edge is now higher than the inside, so that will actually sit on this curve, and there won't be, there won't be a gap underneath it. I hope. So this was drilled approximately 1/4 of an inch deep, so My goodness, it fits. I must have done something wrong. And the one, here we go. And because, I don't know if you can see it this close out of the light, but there is now absolutely no gap between the finial and the top. The grain's kind of weird, but that looks better. See, now taking my favourite chemical compound, Claude just ran for cover. Sorry, I forgot to take the to sand this down. There's a new piece. There's a nice piece.
We can't see what you're doing.
Well, all I'm doing, lads, is sanding the fur off the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Then all you have to do is put in a wee drop of CA glue from the back, and it holds it. It is now stuck. Now we need to make the, what I call the piston, and the little bit that goes at the bottom of the shaft. Hey. So see what I mean about this thing bending down here now? It's a gorgeous thin tool, but because of that, it bends.
I see.
Now, this has to slide easily into here. You can't have too much drag on it, so I'm just a hair too big in diameter at the moment. There we go. A nice slide fit. Because you don't want it to jam in there. That's annoying. This needs to be about, what, 3/8 of an inch thick. And it needs two other things. First off, you want a retaining ring at the bottom so that the toothpicks always sit in the hole. Now the first time I did it the way he did it and used a drill, but that leaves you with a square bottom. And it doesn't necessarily mean they'll go to the centre. So what I'm going to do this time is just now this means that the toothpicks will automatically slide into the middle, which is what you want, because if they manage to get lipped on the side and then jam, it's annoying. So I haven't gone that deep in there. Use that. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, I think. So we've got a nicely sloped interior for the piston. Now we need to put the 1/4 inch hole through it so that we can attach it to the top. Reduce speed to 750. There's the 1/4 inch bit. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If you've got little screwdrivers lying around, little Phillips, old Phillips, grind the point off, grind the end off to make a nice point, because they're ever so useful for doing things like this. And as you can see, there's already not a huge amount of clearance in a 1/4 inch Forstner bit. That's definitely far enough. There you silly thing. Right, so you sand this. So now, I'll have some CA glue on that. It got stuck to my sandpaper. So, let's see if this slides all the way nicely to the bottom. That's funny, that is exactly what happened with the first one I did. It goes in so far and then it starts tightening up. And I worked out a very clever method of making it smaller. I don't know if my Forstner bit is one of those special tapered ones.
Pretty funny.
I mean, I've been, you know, sitting here going, what's wrong with these lads tonight? You know, there's none of the abuse flying. There's none of the, you know, ribald comments. You know, they're going to sleep on me. So, where's the 240? That's 240. Well, while it's here, I might as well sand the bottom. There we go. in theory,
It wasn't an airlock as the piston was dropping into the cavity, was it?
well, there's a hole all the way through this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now, that just slid beautifully down to the bottom. Now, I just worked out the easy way, if I could find out where I put my little stainless steel measure, there it is, to figure out how long to make the, needs to be 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch longer than that. So if we make it about 2 3/8 plus the distance in the top, we make it 2 1/2. 2 1/2. How long's a toothpick? I've forgotten. A toothpick is 2 1/2. But they're going to be in there at an angle. All right. Overall length available to the from there. Oh, it's bloody 3 inches. What am I worried about? So if I cut a 3-inch piece of 1/4 inch material, it should work, shouldn't it? Well, I'm not going to get. And if you lot think I was going to turn a 1/4 inch
Now,
a 1/4 inch dowel, no bloody thing coming. Now that's a nice, there's a piston around. Oh yes, it's in the bottom of the hole, isn't it? Here, boy. Wait, actually, all right. Well, it doesn't matter as long as the dowel doesn't hit the bottom of the hole. We're all right. So, let me just go and get my favourite chemical again. Can I put it back? Oh no, I'll put it there. Yeah. Just make sure that this is seated, using exactly the right tool for the job. Oh, you couldn't see that. Good. So, little squirt of CA in that end. Put the other end on. Which camera is showing, Claude?
The side camera.
Side camera. So
no, you had it before.
okay.
Right there.
Overhead. So
No, side camera.
okay. Oh, the tailstock camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one is not as good as the first one, I must admit, but it was done much quicker than the first one, and I managed to hit. So basically, there it is. We've got the little piston
Hold it higher.
and that, but I messed up on the clearance of the hole at the top, and it annoys me. And I didn't wax certain things as I was going, as I should have done. Finished them. But basically that's it. That's the whole thing. It's what? An hour and 15 minutes playing around.
very nice.
You know, and yeah, this one has to be finished. It has to be cleaned up. And yeah, I think it's touching the bottom of the hole. So I might just sand this down a bit at the base, because I don't think my lid is seating 100%. No, it's not. So there you go. I mean, the only problem that I can think about it with, if you say to somebody, pass the toothpicks, and they pick it up like this, there are toothpicks everywhere.
Yeah, that'll be a bit of an issue.
Anyway, I mean, I just did it quickly out of a piece of sandbag that was lying around. This one, as I said, I mean this one is walnut. It looks much nicer. I got that lovely semi-gloss Yorkshire grit finish on it. And as you pull it up, you know, the toothpicks dispense themselves, but don't go any further than that, because otherwise they'll be dirty toothpicks.
Nigel, can you not put a stopper on there somehow?
There's one of two ways of doing it.
Yeah, make a ring. Make a ring that fits like the cylinder. The only thing is you're going to have to glue it while the whole thing is in. It's a one-shot deal, though. If you screw up, that's it. You have to put it at a place where it will prevent the piston from coming up.
The only way I could see of doing that is somehow supporting the piston. Make a little wooden ring, as you said, that will but you can't get it. You can't get it to. You need something in between these two. Maybe you should, you know, what Janet said, and it made a lot of sense, was counterbore it from the bottom and put a slightly larger piston in and stop that, you know, 3/4 of an inch from the top.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But that means, you know, you've done everything.
It means it stops, which is important.
Yeah, or you could put 4 lovely little brass pins in it, decorative, or 2. You know, just drill a 1/8.
That would work too, yeah.
Drill a 1/8 inch hole and put it, or, you know, make a lovely little ebony pin.
Nigel, Roy here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Drill a hole in the side and put a little pin in it.
Yeah,
That's what you're just saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was, yeah, so if you were to pick a nice wood that contrasts, I mean, you could do it with a, I know what you could use. You drill a little hole and you put a toothpick in it.
There you go.
Or you use the container it comes in and you can just have a toothpick, just like that.
So,
Nice project.
is anybody interested in watching the video that I watched? I had to extrapolate all the dimensions and keep on stopping it and write, you know, he said we use 1 1/4 inch forcing a bit, but then you're going to stop the video, write that down, and, you know, so I just wrote out a page of instructions. Is anybody interested in making one of these? Because if so, I will post the that video to the club membership.